Hey guys, Otter MC back for another Minecraft video, right? We are here in the Cherry Blossom Gardens, okay, with some beautiful shaders. I've recorded this video once before, but there's a lot of epilepsy type things, and I don't want that for my epilepsy homies, and then it just went too long, but I do have some points to make today, and this is not out of judgment. You know, I don't have a right to judge people. That is for the Lord. I am merely a messenger, but I can warn people, okay? And although I'll say this was kind of more not only controversial, but not something I wanted to dive into on the main channel. So I'm putting it here for anyone who's interested. But I just have like a slew of reasons why cussing is detrimental, right? And we've all done it before pretty much, okay? You know, it's like whenever I have a problem whenever I'm on the road and someone tries to kill me, it's like my instant reaction is just cussing them out. So I'm trying to like avoid doing that because I need to be more like stoic on the road. But that is something that I do. So in full honesty, I will admit to that. But at the end of the day, cussing, there are like pretty much 4-ish reasons why I do not think it is a good thing to do. Well, actually there's 5. The first one just being that God said so, and that's just it. But most people are not good with that answer, and that's like to be expected, right? Like we live in the Western world does not believe in God anymore, and that means that, you know, they're looking for ulterior proof or whatever. You know, fine, you want ulterior, fine, I'll provide it. Okay, and then you're still gonna go do it because it's not about proof for you guys. It was never about proof, right? They're like, throw all the burden of proof on me, and then I do the best I can, and then they still just completely disregard what I say, even after arguing you into a corner. But it's fine, you know. We'll prove it here. Okay, not to be snarky. Okay, we're toning down the snark. All right, here are these reasons. So the first one is just the peer pressure element, right? And this tickles my bubbles. For a long time, I was susceptible to peer pressure. Now I'm more just like angry, and so I'm not anymore. I'm like, I'll just, you know, I'll be that angry dude that's not susceptible. To a point, everyone is susceptible to peer pressure. It's almost impossible to avoid because we're social creatures, right? We want to feel like we belong. So at the end of the day, though, people that cuss, it becomes this thing where like everyone in the room is either cussing or not. Like if it's a room full of people who are not cussing and then someone cusses, there's like this awkward whatever. And then the same is reversed for like if everyone's cussing and then there's the one guy who isn't. I remember like, and this is not to be like a goody two shoes whatever, I've definitely like, you know, been vulgar before, but there was a point where I just didn't say any cuss words, and they're all like, oh, I don't think I've ever seen you cuss. Like one time when I did cuss, and it was very like, you know, you could tell they wanted the endorsement from me to like justify their language choices. And so I just don't like how it operates as a form of peer pressure, right? That's what it is used as in many cases, you know? And, oh, dude, this otter here just swimming in the water. And it is often, we're going to build a house up top with the cherry oak up here. And I'm not a fan of peer pressure. I think that weaponizing it is cruel. I like to hang out with people that do not often like peer pressure each other. You know, that is kind of like the way I like to do things. So that's kind of annoying. Oh my word, look at that. Look at that view. God's creation, man. The perception of beauty is God's greatest gift to man. You know, even if you are completely broke, destitute, have nothing going on, you can still, if you have your eyeballs, you can still perceive beauty. Look at this. Look at this. Man, I'm a happy camper today. But, and that's the thing is like, I'm not a fan of peer pressure, and I think if you respect the people you're around, you're not going to weaponize that to get them to do what you want. And so I often am in circumstances where I feel like people are peer pressuring either me or someone else to like be vulgar. And that just like kind of makes me cringe a little bit, because at the end of the day, it's just not worth it. But anyway, back to the next point. It erodes your vocabulary. And what I mean by that is this is not like, obviously there are exceptions to every rule, but more often than not, when I encounter people, when I encounter people who are cussing, it's like all they know how to say, it's all they know how to do. And so having like a deeper conversation is almost not even possible, because that's all that like they know how to say, and that's not like, I'm not super like, I don't hate these people, but I'm also just like, I want to be able to have interesting discussions, and that's not possible when every other word is like the F word or the S word, and it's not possible. You can't have like a neat conversation that way. And this kind of brings me to another reason, is that it is not substantial, right? It's filler. Oftentimes people that don't have anything interesting to say, instead of just being quiet or being like, content, just like sitting there or something, they'll instead use a cuss word. They're like, oh man, that's, some effing S right there, bruh. And it's like, okay, that's not a sentence. Like, you literally conveyed no information. Like, words are meant to convey meaning. And so if you say words that convey meaning that convey no meaning, then you're not actually properly using words, right? And this is like a very basic thing. So it almost represents the dumbing down of the American society. The more people are swearing, and this is something shown in the movie from Mike Judge, Idiocracy. Oh my word, prophetic movie. And it literally was about how everyone's getting kind of gradually more stupid. And this is represented in like the biggest movies becoming just like penis jokes and like, just tons of vulgar language with no substance. And that like is what a lot of cussing that I see nowadays, that's what that is. Last point too that I wanted to make was that it is used as a crutch, right? It's used as a crutch. It is not, it is like, so often I'll see someone, they want to make a funny joke, or they want to make a good YouTube video, or they want to do this and that and the other. And instead of like taking the required steps and working for it, or like doing whatever, not that like I am like super like indulgent about hard work or anything. That's kind of a cope. But it's like a lot of people, they don't want to take the steps required for something, and so they just throw in a bunch of swear words to like justify whatever they're doing. So it's like, oh, I want to be a comedian, oh, haha, like cuss word, haha. And it's like, you're not original, you're quite literally unoriginal by doing that, and it forces you to not be creative. It's actually quite literally not creative, because you're not saying anything new most of the time, And so it just gets annoying. It gets annoying, man. I don't know how else to put it. Like, and this is not meant to be super judgy, but I'm also, at the same time, like, I can't deny it's a highly annoying thing, and it's like impossible to avoid. I'm like fewer and fewer. There are fewer and fewer spaces that you can go where that's not like the norm, But anyway, guys, those are just some kind of thoughts about that. I don't think I worded it as well as I could have, but hope you enjoyed nonetheless. Yeah, I don't know. I don't stand by it. And yeah, it's ultimately one of those things where, like, if you just do what God says about that, I mean, you'd be good. But here are like some other reasons, for our atheist homies, agnostic homies out there. You need a secondary or a different reason. Then these are some reasons, right? It's like the people that I meet that, and maybe they swear every once in a while, but like they're not just cussing out the wazoo. These people can actually have cool discussions and like not rely on it as a crutch, not like have it just be filler. They can actually add substance. Like there's all these, So I would just recommend like, look at the benefits of avoiding this stuff, and and then just like see why it's good to avoid. So, that being said, guys, that's been Otter MC, and thank you for tuning in. Y'all have a blessed rest of your day.